You, Mr. Fisher, say you're innocent of theft when you've been caught red-handed, stealing prescription drugs from the city psychiatric hospital. Enlighten me as to how any of that makes sense. Oh, fuck. What's the story, Mr. Fisher? And don't fucking bullshit me, mate.
Okay. Well, the city psychiatric hospital was noticing a substantial amount of missing prescription drugs from their stock. The staff had been accounted for, and the head of the hospital, John, had suspicions about the patients and was starting to believe they were stealing the medicine and stashing it in an unknown location. This is where you come into it all. You were headhunted by John for this case, as you were recommended by one of his friends. Apparently you were one of the best detectives in the city, but you were retired, so it took some convincing. Of course, I only know all of this through you, but, okay. You discussed with John about potentially solving this case undercover, doing it from the inside, actually becoming a patient and immersing yourself in the case. You explained that by interviewing the patients as an external unit, no relationship or trust would be built, and where there's no trust, there's no truth.
I know all that, Mr. Fisher! That's the exact reason why I met you. Now, when I asked you to start at the beginning, I meant the beginning of your story, not mine. Shall I take over for a bit? As you were kindly alluding to with your wonderful explanation of my brilliant undercover plan, please. As I was saying, my brilliant undercover plan, which failed dismally. None of the patients were warming to me, and I was in no way the person who they could confide in, which in my defence should be blamed on the lack of time I was given to befriend said patients. So instead of being a stubborn ass, I admitted defeat and called on some help. This is where you come into it all. You had been working at the hospital for 5 years, and the patients trusted you. So it was only logical for me to involve you to help solve the case. Long story short, I paid you a solid amount of money to talk with the patients about exchanging secrets for secrets. You were to give them a fake map, an escape route from the hospital. In exchange, they would reveal to you if and where they were stashing the drugs. Which, mind you, worked brilliantly. So I commend you on your actions, and I thank you for allowing me to abuse your relationship with the patients. But what I don't understand is when I arrived at the place where the drugs were being hidden, I found you continuing to hide drugs in the room. So, what's the fucking story, janitor man?
Fucking story.
The fucking story! Well, if you shut up and let me talk, you might get the fucking story!
I was just doing what I was told by good authority. That authority being you, Mr. Somnia. But then you freak out, grab me, and drag me into this room. That's why I'm innocent. So, you better get your story straight, because John's gonna be here real soon.
John? No, wait. John doesn't even know I have you, let alone where we are.
And where exactly are we? Not so sure? Calvin, think. You know exactly what's going on. I just merely helped you achieve what you wanted. Think back. You know these hospital halls backwards. Why?
Welcome, Calvin. I think you're going to find it quite comfortable here.
You, Mr. Fisher, say you're innocent of theft when you've been caught red-handed stealing prescription drugs from the city psychiatric hospital. Enlighten me as to how any of that makes sense.
Calvin, this sort of thing has happened before, hasn't it, buddy? You make up these silly stories in your head about fake undercover cases from your previous life. Don't worry. That Mr. Fisher gets you into some serious trouble, doesn't he? Lying to the nurses? Stealing hospital drugs? Come on, buddy. Let's get you back upstairs.